What would you do if you discovered your husband's affair was actually an elaborate scheme to steal your family's fortune? I'm Madison, and I learned that sometimes the people closest to you are the ones planning your downfall. I'm 30 years old, and growing up wealthy taught me to guard my heart. Everyone wanted access to my family's money, not me. So when I met Daniel at a charity gala and he had no idea who I was, I thought I'd finally found someone real. Our first date was at a diner. He ordered pancakes and made me laugh about terrible rom-coms. After 6 months, I introduced him to my parents at their estate in Connecticut. He didn't gawk at the mansion or ask about investments. He just talked passionately about his work as an architect. My mother hugged me afterward and whispered, "This one's a keeper." We married a year later. Daniel had one request: never ask me to quit my job. I want to contribute to our future, not just spend your money. My father actually cried. On our 3rd anniversary, my parents announced they were adding Daniel to the family trust as a beneficiary. He teared up and thanked them for accepting him. That's when he met Marcus, the trust administrator and financial advisor, handling our family's estate. Marcus's wife, Jennifer, was an attorney at the same firm. At parties, I'd noticed Daniel and Marcus talking privately, sharing drinks and laughs. I thought nothing of it. Why would I? 8 years into our marriage, tragedy struck. My father had a stroke, and my mother passed 3 months later from what doctors called broken heart syndrome. I threw myself into running the family business because working was easier than grieving. Daniel became cold, distant. No comfort, no warmth, just silence. I blamed it on grief. We were both processing loss, I told myself. 3 weeks after Mom's funeral, I left the office early with Daniel's favorite Thai takeout, hoping to reconnect. I used my key to enter our penthouse. Marcus was in our living room, with luggage. Daniel appeared from the bedroom, dragging 2 suitcases. When he saw me, he looked annoyed. "Oh, I was going to text you." My brain couldn't process what I was seeing. "Marcus, are you here about the trust paperwork?" Daniel actually laughed. "No, sweetheart. Marcus is here because we're leaving together. Barcelona first, then his new place in Miami. Well, or place now." He took the takeout from my hands. "Thanks for this, actually. We're starving." Then he kissed Marcus, right in front of me. "Ready?" he asked Marcus. They left, just walked out. I heard the elevator doors close and then nothing. For 4 days, I didn't leave the apartment. Didn't shower, survived on crackers and wine. The TV stayed on because silence was unbearable. On day 4, someone pounded on my door. I ignored it. The pounding intensified. "I know you're in there. Open this door right now." I dragged myself to look through the peephole. A blonde woman in an expensive suit glared back. I opened the door. "Your husband ran off with mine," she said, pushing past me. "Sitting here in the dark won't fix anything. Shower. You smell terrible." "I'll make coffee." "Who are you?" "Jennifer, Marcus's wife. And I'm a divorce attorney who's been tracking my husband for 5 months. She opened her briefcase and pulled out a laptop. I have hotel receipts, text messages, photographs, everything we need to destroy them both. She turned the screen toward me. "But here's what your husband doesn't know. Your parents added an infidelity clause to the trust 4 years ago. Any beneficiary who commits adultery forfeits everything. Marcus knew this. He processes the paperwork. He just never told Daniel." My heart started beating again for the first time in days. "So Daniel gets nothing?" "Zero. Completely cut off." Jennifer pulled up security footage. "But they're not in Barcelona yet. They're at the Ritz downtown, 20 minutes away." She showed me another clip, timestamped from last night. "They've been coming back here while you sleep, watching you fall apart." The video showed Daniel photographing me crying on the couch, then texting Marcus. Still a complete mess. Almost ready for the settlement conversation. Jennifer showed me one more clip from 30 minutes ago. Daniel in my bedroom, taking my mother's diamond necklace from the jewelry box. I stood up so fast I knocked over my coffee. "They're still there?" "Get in the car." Jennifer drove like a woman possessed, running yellow lights, weaving through traffic. We pulled into the Ritz parking garage. "Room 847, she said, checking her phone. Marcus's credit card updates in real time. One of many benefits of having all his passwords. The elevator ride felt eternal. When we reached the 8th floor, Jennifer put a hand on my arm. "Let me handle this. You're the witness. Stay calm." We walked down the hallway to room 847. Jennifer knocked. 3 firm, professional knocks. "Housekeeping," she called sweetly. "We didn't order housekeeping." Daniel's voice irritated. Jennifer knocked harder. Footsteps approached. The door opened. Daniel stood there in a hotel robe, wine glass in hand. His expression went from annoyed to shocked to pale in seconds. "Madison, how did you—" Jennifer pushed past him into the room. I followed, champagne on ice. Room service trays everywhere. Marcus on the bed in pajamas, laptop open. "Jennifer!" Marcus jumped up. "Jesus, how did you find us?" "I'm a lawyer, you idiot." Jennifer pulled out her phone and showed Daniel the security footage. "This is from Madison's apartment 40 minutes ago. You broke in and stole her mother's necklace." Daniel's wine glass trembled. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Empty your pockets," I said. My voice came out cold and steady. Daniel laughed nervously. "This is insane. You need to leave before I call security." Jennifer smiled. It wasn't friendly. "Please do. I have timestamped video evidence of breaking and entering. I have geolocation data from Marcus's phone. I have texts between you planning it. Call security." Daniel's face drained of color. Slowly, he reached into his robe pocket and pulled out my mother's necklace. He threw it at me. It hit my chest and clattered to the floor. "Fine. There. It was just sitting in a drawer anyway." I picked it up, hands shaking. "You came into my home while I was grieving and you stole from me." Marcus tried to intervene. "Look, maybe we can all just talk about this like adults." "Sit down," Jennifer snapped. Marcus sat. She turned to Daniel. "Here's what you don't know. Madison's parents amended the trust 4 years ago. There's an infidelity clause. Any beneficiary who commits adultery forfeits all rights. You get nothing." Daniel's face went through shock, disbelief, then rage. He turned to Marcus. "What is she talking about?" Marcus stared at the floor. There's a clause. I thought we could work around it." "You thought?" Daniel was screaming now. "You said this was foolproof. You said the trust payout was guaranteed even in divorce." "I didn't think we'd get caught this fast," Marcus mumbled. Daniel started throwing things. Pillows, the TV remote, anything within reach. "I gave up everything. 8 years. I waited for her parents to die. I played the perfect husband. He was hitting Marcus now, slapping his chest and face. Marcus backed against the wall, trying to grab Daniel's wrists. You promised me millions! The door burst open. Hotel security, 2 men in suits. Everyone calm down right now. Daniel grabbed his bag. He looked at Marcus with pure hatred. This isn't over. Then he looked at me, mascara-stained and furious. You're going to regret this, Madison. He pushed past security and left. Marcus tried to follow, but Jennifer blocked him. We need to discuss fraud charges and your upcoming testimony. Marcus went pale. Testimony? Against Daniel, Jennifer said smoothly. He manipulated you, didn't he? Seduced you to get access to trust information? You were just a victim of his scheme. Marcus's eyes darted between us. I need a lawyer. I am a lawyer, and I'm telling you that cooperating is your only option. Otherwise, you're going down for fraud, conspiracy, and theft. I left while Marcus was still stammering. Walked back through that awful hallway, down the elevator, out to Jennifer's car. She caught up 5 minutes later. He'll flip on Daniel within 48 hours. Trust me. The drive back was silent. I just held my mother's necklace, turning it over in my fingers. When Jennifer dropped me off, she handed me a flash drive. Insurance. Hide it somewhere safe. I thought it was over. I really did. The next morning, Daniel showed up at my door. Hair perfect, wearing the navy suit he wore to my father's funeral. Completely composed. Can I come in? We need to have an adult conversation. Against my better judgment, I let him in. He sat on the couch like he still lived there. Yesterday got ugly, but we're both smart people. We can figure this out without destroying each other. What do you want, Daniel? I'm proposing a settlement. $3 million? I sign whatever you want, disappear, and you never hear from me again. No messy court proceedings, no media coverage. Clean break? I said nothing. Think about it, he continued. Fighting me in court will cost you over $1 million in legal fees. This drags out for years. Depositions, motions, stress. Or you pay me $3 million right now and it's done. He leaned forward. Your parents loved me, Madison. They wouldn't want their memory attached to some ugly public divorce battle. For a second, I almost considered it, just to make it stop. Then I walked to my desk, pulled out the flash drive Jennifer gave me, and plugged it into my laptop. I turned the screen toward him. Before you say anything else, I want you to hear something. I pressed play. Daniel's voice came through crystal clear. Recording from the hotel room months ago. Once we're in Barcelona, I'll tell Madison I want a settlement to avoid a long divorce. She'll pay anything to avoid drama. Marcus handles the trust paperwork. Makes it look like my payout was approved before the affair. And we split everything 80-20. Marcus's voice, you sure she won't fight it? Daniel laughing. She won't. I've been watching her for weeks. She's destroyed. Her parents just died. She's vulnerable. She'll pay just to make the pain stop. That's the whole point. Hit her while she's down. 10 minutes of them planning every detail. How they'd time the discovery. How Daniel would manipulate me. How Marcus would commit fraud with trust documents. I paused it. Daniel's face was blank. Completely empty. Jennifer recorded this 3 months ago, I said. She planted a listening device in Marcus's briefcase. Same hotel room you were in yesterday. Daniel stood slowly. His hands were shaking. That doesn't prove anything. It's just talk. It proves you orchestrated this affair specifically to extort money from me. It proves Marcus planned to commit fraud. Jennifer already filed a report with the trust administrator. They're investigating you both. He walked to the door, stopped with his hand on the handle, and looked back. You weren't supposed to be smart enough to figure this out. Then he left. 2 days later, I woke up to hundreds of notifications. Daniel had posted on social media, crying photos with captions about leaving a controlling relationship and finding himself again. Friends I hadn't spoken to in years were messaging me, clearly believing his version. My college roommate called. I saw Daniel's posts. I didn't realize things were that bad. It wasn't. He's lying. Long pause. He said you controlled all the finances, wouldn't let him access money. She believed him. I could hear it in her voice. Then my attorney called. Not Jennifer, but my family's estate lawyer. Madison, we need to talk about Daniel's social media campaign. He's building a public narrative to pressure you into settling. This is textbook manipulation. What do? We fight. We have the evidence, the recordings, the security footage, Marcus's testimony. We'll file criminal charges for fraud, theft, and conspiracy. This won't be easy, but you'll win. I looked at my mother's necklace on my dresser, next to my father's watch, both safely returned. Then let's fight, because sometimes the people who seem perfect are just perfect actors. And sometimes the only way to honor the people you've lost is to refuse to be a victim. My name is Madison, and I'm not paying a single cent.